Hi, my name is Anna Taylor. I'm the Executive Director of the Greater Sum Foundation, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about our virtual incubator program for nonprofits and answer questions about the program, what it is, who it's for, et cetera, et cetera. So I am going to share my screen and get down to it. I'll show you a little bit about the incubator program and what it's like. Oop, oop, oop. Okay, here we are in an overview of the incubator. We created this program to help early stage nonprofits kind of figure out how to financially sustain their work and how to kind of align their program planning and implementation with their financial realities, and then develop a plan for growth based on that. So the incubator is a 6-week program. It's a combination of online self-paced curriculum and peer chats and kind of consulting or coaching sessions with volunteers. So the next session is coming up it'll start April 22nd. The deadline to apply for that is March 31st. Which I believe is next Friday. When I'm recording this, it's next Friday. So the deadline is the 31st for that April-May session, but you can also indicate on your application if you're available for our June-July session. And if you come across the application after the deadline for this session, you can go ahead and apply for the June and July session. Okay. Frequently asked questions about the incubator usually fall into these categories. What is the content of the incubator? What is the time commitment? Who's the target audience? What are the accessibility features of the incubator? And what are the benefits of participating? And one question that I want to address right up front, this program is free for nonprofits to join and participate. The Greater Sum is a grant-making foundation. We are what's called an operating foundation, so we both award grants and run programs. Our programs are geared towards supporting innovation in the nonprofit sector. And so the incubator was created out of our shared learning with the organizations that we awarded grants to in our first 3 years of operation. And the intent was not just to award grants to organizations that had figured this stuff out on their own, but to kind of share it out for nonprofits who are earlier on that journey. So the program is free. It is also a prerequisite for participating in Greater Sum's pitch competition, which is where we do award grant prizes. So the content of the incubator, there are 5 modules. The first module is about funding models. We talk about different kinds of nonprofits and what types of funders are typically drawn to support those organizations and why. And then that's the kind of learning content. The objective is for you to identify with 1 or maybe 2 of these funding models and then kind of see how the model, the type of challenge you're addressing, the model of your nonprofit is going to draw certain kinds of support. So then are your fundraising strategies designed to make the most of those funding sources that are going to be easiest for you to connect with? And then we always kind of pose questions in each module that will give you the space to go deeper on your own. So the intent here is that you take a look at that fundraising strategy and potentially make changes to it based on this kind of new way of looking at your model. Module 2 is finance. This is very few people's favorite module of the incubator, but it is the one that is most inspired by feedback from our past participants. There are a lot of people who start nonprofits who are not accountants. And if accounting is not a strong point for you, what we want it to be is not a weak point for you. We want to give you the terminology and the tools to engage with accounting content, to understand it and to use it to your advantage as a nonprofit leader. So this module goes through accounting terms. It shows you accounting, like reports and ratios, and then kind of says, this is what tells you, how much you need in the bank to meet payroll, how long the money that you have will last, how much you need to raise to continue your operation at its current level or to grow, right? So these are all things that make us stronger leaders if we don't avoid them. So we'll go ahead and get in there, use those tools, and then as a deeper dive, as the leader of your nonprofit, you can take that hard look at, your current financial status and what you forecast for the future, how you get to that forecast, and how you strategize using it. Module 3 talks about earned revenue. This is kind of a mysterious topic for a lot of people because we don't think about nonprofits as earning income. We think about them as raising funds. So earned revenue means that you have kind of a business side of your operation. It brings in funds for your organization. But instead of those profits being distributed to shareholders, they're invested in your mission. So an earned revenue stream is just another way of raising money to operate your nonprofit. It is pretty strictly governed by the IRS. There are rules that you need to follow, and then there are business tools that we share in this module to help you identify earned revenue streams, kind of build them out and sustain them. So this is a really relevant topic for some people going through the incubator if they're already earning revenue or if they're already like thinking about it. And for others, it's more of a, okay, now I understand it better. It's not a mystery to me. I've thought about it. It's in our future maybe, or it's not, but I'm a more rounded leader because I know what this is and how it can be deployed. Module 4 is on branding, and this is about the benefits of having a strong brand, of standing out in your community, in your industry, and then the strategy that you use to kind of build that brand and get it out there to the folks that you're trying to connect with, whether that's donors, volunteers, clients, partners. We want to get you thinking about the unique advantages that your organization has, what makes you stand out, and then how to capitalize them in your marketing. So you'll take this information and, maybe make some tweaks in the short term and make some decisions about where you want to invest in marketing in the future. Okay, module 5 is on pitching. This is a kind of a business term, a business activity. This is putting your proposal out in front of a prospective investor. And we use this in the nonprofit sector to think about donors, to think about partners, to think about grant funders. When you are making a proposal for someone to invest in your organization. And this is the kind of experience that Greater Sum was built on. And we We do it in a very formal way with a pitch competition. There are also informal opportunities to pitch your nonprofit, and the shortest being what we call an elevator pitch, which is just what you tell someone about your organization in a very short interaction. So what we do in this module is look at those different levels of complexity of proposing your organization for funding, and then bringing in that learning from the modules of the incubator to help you, again, describe those unique advantages that your nonprofit has that makes you the right organization for someone to invest in to solve a problem that they care about. So we will practice short pitching together, and if you are interested in a deep dive, this is where the virtual incubator articulates with the pitch competition, because graduates of the incubator are eligible to participate in our pitch competition. The first round of the pitch competition is a 2-minute short pitch. So we have content in the module about how to create a short pitch, and after you graduate from the incubator, you are invited to, but not required to, participate in our pitch competition. Now, going back to our list of frequently asked questions, the time commitment is, as I said, it's a 6-week program. Now, your time commitment during those 6 weeks, we have one meeting every Friday during the incubator. And we anticipate that you'd spend maybe an hour going through the module prior to the session. So each week you would spend about an hour on your own, at your own convenience, completing the module online. And then you would join that conversation for 1 hour on Friday, and you do that for 6 weeks. You also have the opportunity to schedule time with me or with other Greater Sum volunteers. We call our volunteers subject matter experts. They're people who work in a variety of fields, whether it's nonprofit management or business or law or PR or marketing or human resources, et cetera, et cetera. The volunteers that work with us are people who are looking for a way to use their expertise to help a nonprofit succeed. So we can set you up to have a conversation with someone who is an expert in their field, and then, you know, they may kind of give you some resources or suggested reading or a tool that helps you with a challenge that you're solving in your nonprofit. So those are an add-on to the time commitment, but they are initiated by you as needed or as wished. The target audience for our incubator is nonprofit leaders who are either the founder of their organization or one of the very early leaders of the organization. We look at nonprofits that have been in existence for 5 years or less, or in some cases, nonprofits that have existed for longer, but have undergone kind of a radical change in how they do business. So for example, if you ran a program that was very localized for a long time, but during the pandemic, you moved your programming online, and all of a sudden you had participants from all over the country or all over the world, this would be an appropriate time to go through this incubator program to kind of map out what that new model looks like for your organization. The target audience is the leader or co-lead of the organization, and this is primarily because this is a strategy development content. So if you're not the person who is directly involved in that decision making, it's going to be kind of a frustrating experience to go through and not be able to, you know, take action on the items that we're discussing. We do allow pairs of people to go through the incubator together. So we've had an executive director and a board chair go through. We've also had like co-directors of a program go through the incubator together. In terms of accessibility, the program is online. It is a video and text curriculum. The videos are captioned, and so are our meetings. We can provide interpretation or sign upon request. We don't do that automatically. So if it's something you need, please let me know as soon as possible. And we record the peer chat sessions on Fridays. So if your schedule does not permit you to attend, you can watch a recording of the peer chat. It's not optimal. This works best if you're able to join that session and participate, but it is completely possible to go through, you know, kind of on a self-guided trajectory. If you have any other accessibility questions about the incubator, please don't hesitate to reach out, because we really want to make this accessible to anyone who is leading an early stage nonprofit and wants access to this information and network building opportunity. Now, in terms of the benefits of participation, if you are an early stage nonprofit, you are doing something innovative and you think that what you're doing is scalable. What I mean by scalable is that you could grow very rapidly to serve a large number of people or a large service area, then the primary benefit of, well, not primary, one of the great benefits of participating in the incubator is that you are then eligible for the pitch competition. The pitch competition is where we really zero in on the organizations that greater sum funds, which are those who are at a tipping point where they're doing something innovative, they have proof of concept, this thing really works, it really does solve the problem better than existing solutions. And they're at that point where they want to reach many more people than they have in their current stage of operations. Those are the organizations that will be successful in our pitch competition. Now, if you are an early stage nonprofit and you don't have that goal of rapidly scaling up your operation, this is still helpful content to you, and it is offered to you for free. So it's information that's going to help you with your fundraising, with your board development, and with you know, attracting new supporters, donors, partners, etc. You just have to look at it like, I may or may not want to participate in a pitch competition. That may or may not be a good use of my time. But the incubator, if you're an early stage nonprofit leader, is going to be a helpful use of your time. As an incubator graduate, you will have access, ongoing access to our online community, where you can chat with greater sum subject matter expert volunteers on an ongoing basis. You can participate in events online and network with peers. And you also, as an incubator grad, have that experience to speak to when potential donors ask you about the financial sustainability of your program. So you have sought out, participated in, and completed a program that is geared to help you make this organization more sustainable. So as a startup nonprofit, that's one of the things that you can really encounter with potential funders, is them not being sure whether you are committed to this work, whether you have, you know, like the strategy in place to sustain it. And the incubator, number one, helps you do that, but number two, gives you something to point to as, you know, professional development that you have been through in order to sustain your nonprofit. So those are the questions that we are most frequently asked about the incubator. If you have additional questions, I am happy to answer them. Best ways to get in touch with me are via the application is on our website at thegreatersum.org. There's an apply button on the homepage. There's a banner across the top. And you can also check in with us on social media, Greater Sum Found on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. And we don't really live on Twitter, but our account is there with ways to contact us. And you can email me. My email address is Anna, ANNA, at thegreatersum.org. So definitely interested if you have questions about the incubator, want to participate. And you can also sign up for our newsletter on the website if you would like to participate, but now is not the right time. Sign up on the website and you will get ongoing updates about future sessions of the virtual incubator. Thanks so much for your time, and I look forward to hearing more about you and your nonprofit.